Welcome, Anime Lately podcast listeners and YouTube podcast watchers, to another episode of the Anime Lately podcast. I'm your host, Sam the Manga Man, and here with me are my Brotakus. Introducing first, the Game Master, resurrected from the dead like Jon Snow, the director of anime, Mr. King of Games himself, Rayapollo! Our next legendary co-host is a true believer in legend in the Black Clover community. He has a great love for Trigon and One Piece. The one, the amazing, the spectacular, legend, the Vash, Miguel And finally, our special guest. He's Kid Otaku. Yes, the true Otaku. All the other otakus are just imitating fools. So all the Kid Otaku fans, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up for the real Kid Otaku.
Ooh,
how you all doing?
Kid, how was this your first time hearing your own intro from somebody else and to hear a lot of O's and R's?
I like it. It's
very different.
Sam goes in. So yes, welcome.
He was beyond like all the Super Saiyan transformations.
Yeah, he goes in. And sometimes when he like stops, he'll be like, okay, did he finish? No, he's still going.
There's still one more syllable left. Wait for it.
It's like, is he okay?
Did he pass out yet? Because I see that he got kind of a bit buffered, but I'm happy to have you here, Kid. It's great talking to you all the time through Discord and Twitter, but it's great to have you here as the first time as one of our guests.
Oh, well, I'm glad to be here.
Great, guys. All right, we're gonna have an interview. We're gonna have an interview with Kid Otaku. So for those who don't know, Kid Otaku is a veteran in the YouTuber community. He's been in the anime YouTube game for 4 years, and he has a great love for My Hero Academia, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, and a new anime that just came out, Welcome to Demon School, Arumaku. But that's enough background information from me. Let's hear from the real Kid Otaku himself. First, I want to ask, are you still a kid? This is just another way of me asking how old you are.
I'm currently 22 years old.
Cool.
And
still a kid.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like one. I mean, honestly, you want to feel like a kid as long as you can, honestly, because
100% truth.
Definitely true.
We would also accepted kid at heart as well for the answer, but that is a great answer to you. Okay. All right, now we have to do the real questions. What got you interested in anime and manga? Like, what was the first series that made you want to read or watch, that hooked you in?
So, one of the ways that I originally got into anime and manga, and I think it was around like first grade or so, was probably Inuyasha, because I used to watch Toonami all the time. And when I was younger, I always used to have a TV on because that's how it helped me fall asleep. If I watched the TV for so long that I would eventually pass out. But I used to watch Inuyasha all the time whenever it came on, so I was like really into that. So that was like mainly the first anime I watched. But I was like so young, so I didn't really remember everything that was going on with it. But if you want to talk about like a series that I got really invested in, that became like one of my favorite like series of all time, you know, make like a gaming series and everything like that, was probably Pokemon. Because I used to watch Pokemon every single Saturday. I always used to get super excited whenever the episodes came out. Like, Pokemon was just mainly a thing I grew up in general, so I was like really, really invested in it. Like, my friend like got me onto it, but he got me onto it like a little bit later on, because there was eventually a time in my life where I took a break from like anime and manga, not necessarily because I disliked it or anything, but it's kind of like I forgot about it for a while, and then I just moved on and I focused about all these different kinds of things. And then eventually down the line, like I met a friend in high school named CJ, and he got me really invested in Naruto at the time. And one of the things that we did is we had he basically like had his own Akatsuki organization, and it was actually yeah, it was actually pretty fun because pretty much the way it worked is that he pretty much assigns like each role to like, it was like me, my friend Zach, him, my friend Arif as well. I still have contact with him as well, which is pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool.
But because he eventually moved out, which it's sad, unfortunately, but I still have a little memento in my room to remember him by, because he gave me my hat, because me and him are like best friends. We still are, we still talk and everything. But pretty much how the whole entire thing worked is that like he pretty much based us on like, okay, what characters suit you best, like what like pretty much like what personality, like he pretty much based like on personalities on the characters and everything. So he made me Kakuzu, and then he was Toby, my friend Zach was Daedra, and then my friend Arif was Pain. And we pretty much had the outfits itself, because I still have my Kakuzu uniform.
That's pretty
inside
dope.
of my closet. I have the Katsuki robe, I have the mask, I have the headband and everything. And we used to always like meet up at his house and chill. And then we always used to have like a little Akatsuki meetup where he pretty much had like these woods by his house. And we pretty much had like our own little hangout area where, you know, as a kid, you know, you make a clubhouse and everything like that, and on top of a tree and everything. We didn't necessarily have a clubhouse. We pretty much had like a little chill spot where like we brought this like log as like a place where we can sit. And then like we had we found all these different kinds of sticks, and we made it like our own little fire pit. Just in case you wanted to like, you know, sit down and like roast some marshmallows or whatever, or just have it there for decoration. That was mainly why it was there. But we pretty much just had out like our own little hangout area. We always used to meet up with each other. And then I remember one of these things that happened, which was the Akatsuki training sessions. And pretty much where they were is that we pretty much just went for walks. We pretty much used to like start at the beginning of the park, because it was because he lives by a park by my town. He doesn't live there anymore. He lives in a different town now. But when he was here, he lived by a park, and we pretty much started from that park. And we pretty much just walked all the way through the woods, because there was like a different way to like get around the woods. So we pretty much had like sometimes we went different routes where we pretty much like walked across the logs. I believe like there's like a little waterfall. I don't know if that's really call it a waterfall. It's like more like, I'm not entirely sure what to call it, but I do know that we like had to walk across this log in order to get to this different part of the woods and everything. But it was pretty fun. Like I really enjoyed it. And then after a while, like he eventually moved away, because I used to hang out with him all the time. Me and him are best friends. And eventually he moved away, and then he gave me leadership of the organization. So eventually I recruited other people as well. And I got a lot of my other friends into it as well, because I have a lot of friends, like IRL friends, that like into anime and manga as well. So they used to do the same thing that I did. And it lasted for a good bit. I don't do it anymore, obviously, but it was fun while it lasted. But pretty much the reason why I brought that up is that's pretty much where my love for anime and manga came back. So I started getting invested in it. And this was around like my freshman year of high school. So I started getting invested in it again. And then I came across Fairy Tail, which got me like really invested in anime a lot more, because I never checked out manga before. I knew what manga was. We had the books in schools all the time, but I was more of like, I was pretty much one of those people that like only watched anime because that was the best way for me to like really watch a series. And I really wasn't aware about like all these different kinds of like genres or these different kinds of things in the community. Like I didn't even know what otaku was. Now obviously I know what it is now. But I didn't really know what all these different kinds of things were until like I started like checking all these different series, and then I got really hooked on Fairy Tail. And then I ended up making my own YouTube channel one day, because I remember I caught up with the Fairy Tail anime. And then yeah, I don't know why I did this, but I read like the most recent manga chapter that came out for it, and then I ended up going home that same day because I was sleeping over with my friend Dylan's house around the time, and I was like bored, so I had my tablet with me around the time I read the first chapter. I went home and I reviewed it, and I privated that video because it was my first video. It was very cringy. I had music blasting in the background. I was like walking around like I was getting ready for like I was like Eminem getting ready to rap, doing all these different kind of hand gestures and stuff. I had like a Natsu Lucy shirt on. So it's kind of like I was making a music video more than like talking about the chapter itself. I still talked about the chapter, but like reflecting back at it and comparing that video to my most recent ones, I'm like, what was I doing? First off, why was I reviewing a chapter when I didn't read the Tartarus arc? So I didn't really know the context behind what happened.
We all start somewhere.
Yeah.
We
So,
all
like,
start somewhere.
So it's like I was really confused. It's like, was that really me? Like doing all these different kinds of things. And then I went back to my channel like a couple months ago, and I was like, wow, I didn't realize like my creativity back then, like all these different kinds of videos I put out. But yeah, definitely like the answer to the question, around like high school I started getting like really invested in it, and then it was mainly like Naruto that got me really hooked into it, and then it expanded from Fairy Tail, and then I went to all these different kinds of series. So
and
yeah,
then I was My Hero.
yep, My Hero is definitely my favorite one right now.
Well, before I go on to the next question, shout out to you, CJ. Thank you for making the kid otaku who he is right now. Okay, now let's move on. What is your favorite genre of anime to watch?
This is gonna be a generic answer, but it's probably like my favorite demographic is shonen. So I tend to read and watch a lot of battle shonen.
Okay,
But
that's okay.
I don't necessarily like just check out those series. Like I like checking out other ones as well. But those are the ones I tend to like read or watch the most. And it's not because of like the fights or anything, because I'll be honest with you guys, I don't really care about a fight if it doesn't have meaning behind it. Like
True.
Deku and Bakugo's fight for Deku versus Bakugo round 2, that had meaning behind it. All Might versus All for One, that had meaning behind it. If it's just a fight where two people are punching each other across the face and there's no message being delivered with that, I'm not going to care about it. When Deku fought Muscular, that was Koda recognizing him as his hero for the first time. That was Deku putting his life on the line in order to protect somebody that he didn't even know, but he knew that person was in trouble, and he didn't care, because one of the things that heroes are known for is putting their lives on the line no matter the cost. No matter if you live or die, that's pretty much what heroes do. That's what heroes are known for, taking risks, doing all these different kinds of things. So if it's just a fight with no message, I'm not going to care. But also, another reason why I like Battle Shonen so much is because of the adventure aspect, because I like getting introduced to like these group of characters, following them on their journey, seeing what kind of things that they interact with, seeing what kind of like things they run into, and you know, things like that. Like that's one of the main reasons why I like Battle Shonen so much. I mainly get invested more into like the characters and the story and like what's occurring around the time. That's what I'm mainly interested in the most when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what is your current top 5 series that you are reading right now, and why is it My Hero?
Okay. So to answer your question, my top 5 currently right now is probably My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, Hunter x Hunter.
Ooh.
The fourth one would probably have to be Dr.Stone. And then the one after that would probably have to be probably, I'm not entirely sure. It'd probably have to be a cross between Jujutsu Kaisen or Chainsaw Man.
I figure.
Cool. Well, what is your passion that drives you to connect with My Hero? Like, do you see yourself like similar with Deku?
Definitely, for sure, because looking at how Deku was like in the beginning of the series, I definitely was that kind of guy that was afraid to express himself. Like in high school, especially, like even growing up, like I had a hard time like interacting with people, because when I was younger, I never really went outside as much until a certain age, where I started to like hanging out with friends and going over each other's houses, spending the night, watching movies, you know, doing whatever, you know, just typical things that you do with friends that have a good time. So like in Deku's case, you know, in the beginning he didn't really interact with much people. I mean, as you saw him as a child, he was very close to Bakugo.
Mhm.
But after a while, when they grew up and Bakugo awakened his quirk, Bakugo had like this different attitude towards Deku. He was like very cocky. He wanted to be like superior of him. So that kind of reminds me of like being in Deku's shoes, because I was always like scared to express myself. I was always scared to like interact with people. Examples being Deku trying to talk to Ochako for the first time. I had the worst way of expressing myself if I had a crush on a girl. Like I remember when I was in middle school, I had a crush on this girl named Haley, and this was around 6th grade. And I liked her. I knew I liked her because obviously like I froze when I saw her, and I started like this thing I had when I was younger is like I used to like shiver a lot when I knew like I liked a girl, or like I had a hard time talking to them. I had a hard time like coming up with words like, okay, kid, what are you going to say to her? Like, what are you going to like say to this girl in order to get her attention, start a conversation and everything? And like I was just always just nervous to like express myself. But as time grew on, I had better social skills. I was able to express myself a lot better, kind of like how Deku is now. After a while in My Hero, he starts to get close to all these different kinds of characters because he comes across Ochako, where at first Deku was a name given by Bakugo that he used to bully him with, but then Ochako gave more meaning to the word, where Deku means you can do it. So that pretty much strived Deku to become better. And that's why he chose it as his hero name, because it wants him to push himself to the next level. It wants him to believe in himself. And that's how it was for me. Like I ended up pushing myself even harder to achieve all these different kinds of goals and overcome all these different kinds of obstacles. And I ended up getting like more confident in myself as Deku progressed through the story. He was more confident in himself. He believed in himself. He pushed himself to achieve all these different kinds of goals, and that's how it was with me and him. So like that's how I connect with Deku as a character.
All right, awesome, very relatable.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite anime or manga before My Hero?
It was Fairy Tail. Like
Okay.
I was really invested in Fairy Tail. Like I believe once I passed that whole Naruto thing, it was definitely Fairy Tail. I used to get really invested in that because like as you could like see in my room, like I have a whole bunch of like My Hero stuff. Like I have the Once Justice poster right there. I have all these different kinds of My Hero things on my wall because that was pretty much Fairy Tail back then. I used to express my love with Fairy Tail in that way, where I used to have all the different kinds of drawings of the guild members on my wall. I used to have all these different kinds of posters. I used to have all these different kinds of like figurines and everything because I was really invested in that series. Because what I felt with Fairy Tail back then is what I felt with My Hero right now. But eventually I fell off with Fairy Tail because I wasn't really a big fan of the last arc. It didn't really mix well with me. So then I started like losing interest in it. Obviously, I'm always going to have like that love for Fairy Tail still there because it was what really drove me to like check out all these different kinds of series and just got me like more hooked on to like anime and manga and everything. But that was like the series that I was really into before My Hero.
That was the jumping off point. I got you.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think there will be a series after My Hero ends in the future? Could be 2 years from now. Do you think that one other series will replace My Hero, just like what did with Fairy Tail? Like first it was Naruto, then Fairy Tail, then My Hero. Do you think there'll be a next one for you?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure down the line, like whenever there's like another series that comes out like that I'm very passionate about, I'm pretty sure there's going to be another series like that. Because like the thing about me is like I can read or watch all these different kinds of series, but I need to feel connected with it. Like I can't just read, let's say for example, I can't just read like the first chapter of Tokyo Ghoul and be like, oh my God, I'm so obsessed with Tokyo Ghoul. I need to collect all the volumes, all the Blu-rays, I need to get all these different kinds of figures and posters and stuff. Like I need to feel connected with the series in order for me to feel passionate about it. I need to like dive deeper with the series, you know, like get connected with it a lot more. I can't just like fall in love with something just because I want to. Like, I need to feel it in my heart. Like, that's how it is with me. So if another series comes in for like the next 5 to 10 years or so, I need to feel connected with it. Otherwise, I'm not going to really be that invested with it right now. That's like how I feel with Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen. I push those series because I really enjoy them, but it still has a lot of room to grow with me in order for me to be as passionate with it as I am with my hero.
Agree.
Of course. Very true. Very true
Mhm.
indeed. Well, okay. Next question I want to ask. What do you want people to know about anime and manga? Like that keeps you watching and reading? Like, why are they special for you? Well, another way I guess I can say is what helps motivate you to keep watching an anime or keep reading? Like, this is like, I think you've said a little bit before that there needs to be
Yeah, it's
emotional
just
connection.
breaking it
Yeah.
down. It's just why is anime and manga special? Like why did it?
It's mainly the emotional connection, like with the characters, the story, everything like that. Like, that's what captures that drive with me with all these different kinds of series I check out. Like, if I'm reading a manga or if I'm watching an anime for the first time, it's mainly like the connection with the series that like really stands out with me the most. I can't just check out series just to check it out. Like, I have to feel connected to it with it. So it's pretty much like the same concept as but not same concept, pretty much the same thing I said earlier.
Okay. Any anime or manga series that isn't getting enough recognition that you would recommend to the audience?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. This is one of my favorite mangas of all time, and my friend Zypher recently checked it out because we have this whole thing going on right now where if I checked out Monogatari, he would
Mhm.
check out Goodnight Punpun, because Goodnight Punpun is like I said, one of my favorite mangas of all time, and that's another series I have emotional connection with because of the story and the characters, and that's why I got so invested with the series. Because to give you like a summary of what the series is, you pretty much follow like the story of a kid as he's younger all the way until sorry about that, all the way until he grows into an adult, and you see all these different kinds of experiences that he goes through, like depression, happiness, frustration. You pretty much see like all these different kinds of things, all these different kinds like emotion, all these different kinds of obstacles that he needs to overcome, characters that he meets, stuff like that. You just see how this character grows, and I got really invested in that series, and I pushed a lot of my other friends to check it out as well. So I definitely recommend Goodnight Poon Poon, because it's one of those series that you need to like sit down and like analyze to like understand what's going on. It's not like one of those series that you just read the chapters and then you move on to the next one. That's kind of like what I was saying earlier. Like, there's some series out there where you need to take some time to understand what's going on because of the symbolism and the messages that are being spread throughout the series. So as I said, Goodnight Poon Poon is one I recommend. Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen as well, because they are upcoming series that I know for a fact are going to blow up once they eventually get anime adaptations, because anime adaptations always push the series. As I said earlier, they push the sales and they get a lot more people and to check out the series. They end up picking up the manga. It helps with like the growth and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely recommend those series because the battle shonen tends to be like very popular. As we saw, Yaiba recently blew up because
definitely.
of the
Huge.
Tanjiro and Rui fight. Because
Oh yeah.
that what I liked about that fight, and I told this to Zypher as well, it wasn't the animation. It was the message being delivered behind that fight, where you have Tanjiro pretty much showing that whole fight itself is showing how strong of a bond that he has with Nezuko, how he's willing to do anything that he possibly can to bring her life to normal so she could become a human again. And you could see the different parallels between him and Rui and how their ideologies like interact with each other, where you see Rui's side of the story is that he ended up creating a family because he never really had like anybody there for him. I mean, he had a family and everything, but he ended up like, I'm not.
A fake
Did you?
family. Yeah, yeah, we all watched it. He had a fake,
Yes.
he made a fake family in a way, but they're all
Yeah.
technically have his blood of energy, and they're all
Yeah.
weaker than him. Yes.
So yeah. So when he saw that relationship that Tanjiro had with Nezuko, he didn't really know like how to feel about that. He's like, "Oh, I'll just take your sister away and I'll make her mine,
He just thought he
and I'll
could take
tell
it.
her to
Yeah.
do all these different kinds of things." When that's not what a bond is about. It's not supposed to be forced.
It's
You're
built.
not. It's built, and that's why you saw how strong of a connection Tanjiro had with Nezuko. And Jujutsu Kaisen has stuff like that,
Oh
where
yeah.
the fights that they have in those series, they have messages behind it. That's why I care a lot about the series, and I push it for like friends to check out and everything because of the messages that are being delivered in there. Like, there's a fight that you'll see later on, Miguel, once you dive deeper into the story, where you see Yuji start to question things after a certain fight that he had, and and he reflects on it like as he progresses through the story, and it's like a common theme throughout Jujutsu Kaisen as well. And it's kind of like it's going to be one of those situations with the whole Tanjiro and Rui thing. Once the anime gets up to that point, that's what's really going to push it out there. That's what's really going to help it blow up and everything. Even on like Chainsaw Man is like a different story because it's kind of like seeing a character I think the synopsis says that. Yeah, the synopsis says it, so this isn't really much of a spoiler, but you pretty much see a guy born of nothing, and then it's pretty much seeing a character that's broken, and then as you progress through the story, you see them become more human after they come face to face with all these different kinds of things that they experience in their life. So like definitely those series, obviously like if anybody hasn't seen Attack on Titan or Hunter x Hunter or anything like that, definitely check those out. Spy X Family is honestly, I'm like pretty surprised how fast that series blew up because I actually stumbled across this post the other day and it had like over 600,000 plus sales already, and already has 2 volumes. That's insane. Like, I don't think I've seen a series grow that fast with like.
But it's a great series, so I'm very happy because
Definitely.
It really was unexpected. I jumped on it when it was 8 chapters in or 7 chapters in only, and I push against Ray and James here and Sam like, hey guys, you gotta read this series. Spy Family is really good. It just started, and right now it is on Shonen Jump, and I highly suggest it. And it's a great series that really shocked me of how good it is with just 3 people, a family there's a psychic and also an assassin and a spy. So it's really dope, and it really shocked me. So I agree. Even though I haven't watched or read Hunter x Hunter, I wouldn't know.
We'll definitely whenever you get the chance.
We'll watch that together, Miguel. We'll watch that one together.
Oh yes.
I'll check out Goodnight Poon Poon. That got me interested.
Same here.
I'll read that.
And actually, you sold me on Jujutsu Kaisen. You sold me on that one, so I absolutely want to start that. So thanks for that.
No problem.
Okay, next question. Being a content creator for 4 years, what are your pros and cons about it? Like, any advice for the listeners that want to be a content creator in the future?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. I can go on and on about that. Talking about the pros first, of course, before I get into the cons. One of the best things about being a content creator is talking about what you love. Because whenever a new chapter My Hero comes out, I'm like, oh my god, I cannot wait to express my thoughts, like how I feel about this chapter, and then see how other people feel about it as well, and interact with them in my comment section and everything. Like, it's always about like when you're so passionate about something, you just want to let everybody know. You just want to let everybody know, like, okay, how much you love this series, what you're looking forward to, everything like that. Like, that's the best things about being a content creator, posting about what you love, meeting other friends along the way that have the same interests as you as well. Because when I first joined the anime community, it was just me, which I feel like that's like a common thing for a lot of people that start in the anime community. Like when they first join it and they start making content and everything, they don't really know that many people until they build their channel enough, and then they come across some people. They end up doing like collabs with each other, and then they start to talk to each other a lot more. And that's kind of how it was with me, because when I first started my Kid Otaku channel, and I'll actually like explain the meaning behind my name a little bit later on if you guys are curious about it. But at first it was like a little slow for me, but I eventually like met friends. I met this guy named Danny Anime. I'm not entirely sure if you guys know who he is. But he was a friend of mine that I made, and me and him used to like talk a lot and everything. And then he invited me on his stream. And then I met this guy named Super Saiyan He Should Go 720. I met this guy named Light One Films. I met my friend Jalen Hawk as well. And we pretty much had like this thing called Podcast is Unbreakable, where it didn't really last that long. I think it lasted for like a good month or two, but we still kept in contact with each other. We used to talk all the time. But we ended up like just making videos talking about like the series we love and everything. So like one of the other benefits of like being a content creator is making friends, because it went from meeting Danny, Super Saiyan You Should Go 720, Light One Films, Jalen Hawk, and then I ended up meeting people like Zypher, SG Sammy, Chaotic Plus, Majin Slayer, you know, you guys as well, as I started to like expand like the kind of stuff that I talked about. And then I ended up meeting people that are passionate about anime and manga as well. So the best things I can say is like being as a content creator, just to sum it up, is talking about what you're passionate about and also making a lot of friends, because that was the enjoyment that I had with it as well. And also, you know, and meeting and also like interacting with your subscribers as well is always fun. Yeah. So like whenever you're like posting a video, you can respond to them in the comment section with them giving your feedback, saying, hey, that's a nice job. Like even having one comment, because that's how it was with me back then when I first started my channel, just having one comment made a difference to me. Having one like made a difference to me. So that's definitely one of the things, that's definitely the pros I like about it as a content creator. The cons, I can go on and on about this one. The cons is that you got to make sure you have a proper schedule. You got to make sure that you know what you're doing at all times. And it sometimes feels like a chore. If you want me to be honest, I feel like it sometimes feels like a chore where My Hero chapter comes out on Sunday. Okay, this is what you have to do today. You got to review this chapter. Jujutsu Kaisen chapter comes out. Okay, you got to do this. Chainsaw Man chapter comes out. Okay, I got to do this. Eden Zero chapter comes out. Oh, I got to do this. Ooh, new animes coming out. Let's say Jujutsu Kaisen had its anime coming out in like summer 2020. Okay, I got to give my thoughts on that. You pretty much are busy all the time. Like that's one of the things as a content creator is like once you have a schedule, you're busy all the time. So sometimes when I have videos pre-recorded, because sometimes I have that, I enjoy my days off if I'm just playing my PlayStation or if I'm just chilling, going out, hanging out with family or friends, or, you know, just whatever. It's like, and eventually like one of those things is, of course, like having a schedule, it does get like very annoying at times, but after a while you get used to it and you adjust to it and everything. So definitely as a content creator, depending on what you talk about, of course, you end up getting really busy. Sometimes you might not want to post, but because it does get to you at times. Because I had that drive earlier this year where I was like so exhausted because of how much I posted, and then I ended up taking like, I didn't necessarily took a break. I just reviewed My Hero chapters when they came out, and that really killed my channel's momentum. But after a while, I started fixing my channel up like a couple months ago, and I started gaining that momentum back. So definitely like the schedule is what really drives you up a wall. And also like another thing you need to worry about as well is like what people say about you online, because sometimes that tends to get to people. At first, I'll admit it did get to me because I was new to the whole YouTube thing a couple of years ago. So when people said something negative to me, I'll admit I got upset at first. I'm not afraid to admit that. I used to respond to them in the comment section as well, saying, oh, hey, why you gotta say stuff like this and everything like that, because that's one of the main reasons I don't do face cam videos anymore. Not necessarily because I can't do it, because I'm obviously I'm doing it right now. I feel comfortable doing it now, but it's like back then, like I used to like get comments where it's like, oh, you're ugly, why are you wearing glasses, all these different kinds of things as well. And back then, like when I was in high school and stuff, I never really started building up my confidence until like my sophomore year, because throughout like my school years, ever since like kindergarten all the way up until like ninth grade and everything, I was very antisocial. I had like that one friend that I hung out with until eventually, I came across CJ and all these different kinds of other people, and they ended up, talking to me, helping me out with my issues, giving me advice how to overcome it and everything. And I pretty much pass that on to other people as well, which probably like leads to the next question as well, where the advice that I can give content creators in the future. And one thing I can say is, do not care what people say about you at all. Like if somebody says a rude comment saying you're ugly or whatever, don't listen to them. If you want to talk about My Hero on your channel, if that's the only thing you want to talk about on your channel, do that. If you just want to talk about Vinland Saga on your channel, do that. Don't feel afraid if people criticize you because you talk about something too much on your channel, because you shouldn't feel like you need to hide your passion. If you're like really invested in the series and you want to talk about it, you shouldn't have to worry about what people say. So definitely don't listen to what people say. If you get a comment on your video, just easily delete it or ignore it. Don't listen to it. And just honestly just keep like pushing yourself to do the best, because after like I dealt with my issues and I learned to overcome it and everything, and I started gaining that confidence, I pretty much tell a lot of people to live life the way they want, like have them go down the route that they want to choose. Don't let other people take control of you, where they tell you to do this and they tell you to do that, or they're like, oh, stop doing this, stop doing that. Like, don't listen to them, because you know who you are as a person. You were born into this world. I kind of feel like Aaron Yeager saying this. But I don't know, I kind of like see Aaron Yeager myself just based on that now. But just go down your own route, make your own decisions. Obviously be careful with the decisions you make, of course, but just don't let anybody like keep you behind. Just do what you want to do. Don't let anybody push you down or anything. Like just be yourself. Like that's the message that I'm trying to spread across right now. Be yourself, do what you want, have those friends that care about you and help you along the way, because it's always a nice thing to have friends. You can talk to them, and if you're ever upset, you can always go to them and they could, talk with you, give you advice how to overcome these issues that you have. Like just be yourself. Like that's the main thing that I'm trying to get across. It's just be yourself, do what you want.
All right, great advice. Very good advice.
I agree with that 100%.
Everybody needs to listen to that. Be your own man. Be your own captain. Do your own thing. All right, last question. Did any YouTubers inspire you for your style of creating content?
Yeah. So when I first started my channel a few years ago, the people that inspired me to do YouTube content was Double Four Anime and Forever Roll. Those were the two people that really pushed me to make a YouTube channel and do all these different kinds of like reviews and discussions on my channel. Because when I saw them posting videos like that, I was like, you know what? That's actually pretty cool that they're able to sit down in front of a camera and talk about the series that they love. Like it made me want to do that too, where it's like I have all these different kinds of things that I want to say about all these series I love, but I was like nervous at the time about being on camera. Obviously, after a while, when you do it so long, you get used to it.
Yeah.
Because at first, like when I made my videos back then, they weren't the best. But after a while, the more content that I posted, and it's been over like 4 years, I eventually overcome those obstacles, and it was for the better. But I saw what they did, and I decided to give it a shot as well, because I thought like it was just something I never saw before. Like I never, like, obviously I knew anime and manga were online, but I never knew that there was actually people as content creators like reviewing chapters and giving their thoughts on all these different kinds of theories. And I thought that was really cool. And then like as I started like doing YouTube a little bit more, I came across like Roger's Base and Chibi Reviews, and Chibi happens to be one of my favorite YouTubers right now, mainly for like the analytical aspect, because he's very analytical when it comes to his reviews or his discussions, and that's kind of how I am in my videos. So I kind of have like Chibi in me in a way, where it's like I'm very analytical when I talk about like if I'm going to sit down and talk about a chapter, I'm very analytical. Like I try to dive deep. I try to dissect each and every single thing that's being addressed in that chapter. And I try to like see like what kind of message that the author is trying to let the readers know. And I try to give my viewers my thoughts on everything like that. And Roger was Roger's the person that pushed me to talk about my passion, because of how passionate he was with One Piece.
Oh yeah.
It made me want to push myself to talk about my passion about like all these different kinds of series that I was really into, like My Hero, like definitely like as much as like he likes One Piece, like that's pretty much how I feel about like My Hero. Like he just mainly pushed me to focus on my passion. And honestly, like not only friends that like helped me out with my issues and how they helped me overcome like all these different kinds of like obstacles and everything, but Roger was like a huge help as well. Like I never had like a one-on-one conversation with him, but I remember he had a stream one time and he was like pretty much, just giving his advice on like future content creators, just like how you guys asked me, like giving advice on like future content creators and like what they can do, like just give them advice of how they could like fulfill like a successful YouTube career and different things that they should ignore and everything like that. Like Roger pretty much had a similar thing with that, and I took his advice to heart too. So for Double Four and for Neverworld helped me get on that train, and then Chibi and Roger really helped me like push it to like a whole new level to where I'm at right now.
That's pretty
So
nice.
those are like the 4 YouTubers that like really helped me get to where I am right now.
I think you achieved what you were going for with Roger and your passion for My Hero, because Roger's, no offense, but Roger is the most passionate person about One Piece I've ever seen on the internet. Here, Roger's base is ridiculous. He loves One Piece more than any other person on this planet, and I love it.
No
and
arguments
then
from here.
you said that you were very analytical. You go very deep into your the breakdowns of your chapters, and I really do appreciate that about your content, because you do a really good job, and I can tell that you care when you are breaking down those things. And I think that's amazing. So you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
All right, guys, this was a full-on interview with Kid Otaku. Now we all gonna discuss, go do a recap review for an anime that we've all been caught up and watch. Dr. Stone, episode 14. Miguel?
This episode was good. Usually I start, guys, so I'm going to go ahead with Dr. Stone. This episode was really good. I love it. The opening was freaking visual-wise amazing. The song, I will still have to give it slightly to opening 1. I probably need to hear the second opening one more time, but the song was very good. Visual-wise was better. And they did a great cinematography with Chrome against Magma, so that's really nice. The intense tension between them two, and how much he had to hold the stick to have the glass to burn fire. So that's pretty nice. And to actually have Gen back, Jin was really nice to see him back. And it was pretty nice to see him that he was dead. So this was a really good episode, and I can't wait for the next arc that's about to start, because I can't believe that they're actually going to do about 4 arcs in this season. So I'm really excited for that.
Kid, your thoughts on this episode?
I was talking about this with Miguel before I joined. I haven't watched it, but I'm ahead of the manga, so I know what happens.
Mhm.
But the arc that they're about to get into is like pretty much where Dr. Stone was at its peak, and it really and it's when a lot of people really started to check out the series, because what's going on right here is like a big part of Senku's character, because you start to see everything come together. And in the next couple episodes or so, you guys will get what I'm trying to say, because it pretty much shows like what Senku is trying to pursue, who inspired him to do all these different kinds of things. Because I believe I'm not entirely sure, like Crunchyroll or some other like social media account that sponsors like Dr. Stone, but they were showing like these designs of like characters that you're going to get introduced to soon. And that pretty much like explains like Senku's like whole entire thought process. So like because what we're about to get into is the Stone Wars, which is pretty much like the first major like story arc in Dr. Stone. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I stopped reading, so
yeah,
this is a good time for me to maybe start reading again.
Ray, your thoughts about this episode?
So I also haven't watched this, but I am just this is where I am manga wise, and it's like okay, I don't know. I told you this is probably some of the most fun I've had with an anime / manga in a while. It's just
because one of the things I really like about Dr. Stone, it has like a unique like story, because a lot of these new series that Jump puts out is like a lot of battle shonen, which of course that's going to attract a lot of viewers, because that's been like that for like a couple. It's been like that for a while. Like Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, like Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, all of them. But it's like you have like a different story like Dr. Stone, where you see this guy named Senku trying to rebuild civilization so he could make it great again. And I just find that whole aspect like interesting, because it's like you see the whole world fall apart, and then you see this man like do things step by step in order to bring things back the way it was again. And it's not just him doing all of these different kinds of things. You have each character playing a part in the story, where they all have this special trait that they have, and Senku uses that to show what they're capable of. Like for example, you got Taiju. He's a tough guy. He's able to move around these different kinds of things, because Senku doesn't really have that muscle. So he uses that muscle that Taiju has, as we saw earlier in the series, to gather all these different kinds of objects that they need if they were going to make like that wine they made with the grape juice, or if they were trying to like get these logs to like build a hut to keep all their supplies. Like I like stories where you have like an interesting concept. Plus, I always love that each character is being utilized, where you don't have a character just sitting in the background with like their arms crossed, not doing anything. Like they all have that special trait, and it gets shown in Dr. Stone, and that's one of the reasons why I like it so much.
So I will say that Dr. Stone is Shonen Jump being smart, and they've always been like this. And I don't think we've ever really paid attention to it, because we always read the battle shonens and we kept going. I don't know if you guys remember, if you've been reading just like the physical Jump for a long time. But back
I still have my collection.
Back when we were buying physical Jumps and reading them weekly, like week to week, there was all of these amazing battle shonen. You had Naruto, you had Bleach, Yu Hakusho's in at one point, but then there was one manga called Hikaru no Go. And I was like, what the heck is this? This isn't a battle shonen. This is just a show. This is a manga about a game. But Shonen Jump needs at least one manga like that, one anime like that, all the time to kind of balance out the rest of the book. And I didn't really understand that. But Dr. Stone is that for right now. I mean, it's got a little bit more action, but it does that same thing where it gives you a story, it gives you a plot that's not about people powering up and beating the crap out of each other. It's about people outsmarting each other and learning a whole different way of life, like similar to Hikaru no Go. and it's like, okay, I get it, I understand it, it makes sense, and it works. It works really well.
Yeah, and I'm happy that they're having like other series like that pop into the magazine as well. That's not a battle show. And like, I forgot to mention this earlier, but like another series I was going to recommend is Act Age, because it pretty much shows it's pretty much a story about how this girl struggles with this eternal with this. She has so she has like best way to put it is that she has I would say like an eternal conflict with herself.
Split personalities.
Something along those lines. You pretty much see like her struggles, like trying to find herself as a person. That's what I was trying to get at. You see throughout the story, I'm not caught up, I'm only like 20 chapters in, but the whole part of what I got from her character is that you see how she struggles finding her true colors.
Okay.
And it's pretty much the story of a girl who always wanted to be an actor. And you see her having the opportunity to pursue that career, and you see each thing that she goes through as she tries to achieve that goal. So going back to like Dr. Stone has another interesting concept that's not always about battle shonen all the time. That's why I'm happy that they're pushing series like that in their magazine, because it would have other people that are like interested in checking out something that isn't battle shonen, something that has like another story that they could read that that has a like something different for a change instead of always the power-ups and fights.
Which is what we need right now. And like I said, Dr. Stone was one of the best ones they could have picked.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah, I fully agree with you guys, because we can't all just have action, adventure, and fighting kind of genres. We need different tastes. Some people like
then
horror.
We end up with Goblin Slayer.
Oh yeah.
My God.
Like some people like want to try something new. They might want to go with the romance route, the slice of life route, the horror route. There's so many.
Or like
different
Food Wars,
options.
if you like food and porn.
Yeah, like
goodness gracious.
But yeah, that's an example. Pretty much, you can't always just read mangas and watch anime just for the actions.
Wait, I forgot.
Bruh.
There's so many great stories. Like this, so that's why there's so many different kinds of movies, books, TV shows. There's many different genres and every different stories, and there's many authors and artists. They're really good at their jobs. They know how to tell a great story, and you fall in love with it. You have built connection with the characters, same way we do with battle shonen.
Unless you're Fairy Tail.
But
once upon a time, Fairy Tail was great. Once upon a time.
The thing that upset me the most is that it had so much potential, but it just went to waste.
I mean, I want to say that most of those from that author end up that way, honestly.
But yeah, like he has, for example, Rave Master, which I think is a better series. Eden
I
Zero.
loved Rave Master, and then it fell apart at the end too.
And Eden Zero and Rave Master to me is his best ones. Fairy Tail is a whole different story. But for us not to get off topic, let's first finish Dr. Stone, then we could get off topic with what we've been watching.
Okay. Finishing up with Dr. Stone, this episode was really good. I'm kind of hoping, before I touch the manga into this, I'm hoping it wasn't too rushed and not all the information was a little bit cut out, so we would go into the Stone Wars arc.
It's been doing good so far, so you're good.
So right, if the pacing is good, then it's a good pace. I'm hoping that everybody else that's checking out Dr. Stone, not just to watch it like, oh, it just makes me smarter. And like you have all these memes now. It's like you can't, before you even watch Dr. Stone, read the biology textbooks, know about Einstein and all that kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things that it's like they kind of like glaze over, but that's like little like tiny things that don't really matter, and you wouldn't know unless you studied them. Which unfortunately, I studied a lot of biology and science in college, but it's different. It doesn't really affect the viewing for me. It's still just more fun that they are able to explain it in such a short amount of time in a fun way. That's what matters.
Agreed. And I do like the accuracy of this anime, especially when it comes to lighting a fire with a magnifying glass and water, causing fire. Literally, leaves can be caffeinated like coffee. You eat that, you'll have the energy like you're in a caffeine high, but you will have the runs. That's what exactly a coffee does.
Yeah.
It's so many accuracies. Like, they literally did their research and all this stuff, and I really like that about it. People will actually learn from reading Dr. Stone or watching Dr. Stone.
If they're paying attention, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah. But great anime. Can't wait to find out what happens next. And pretty much it still has like 11 more episodes left. This was just like the first episode
10.
of 10. Okay.
Yeah, because
So
it's 24 episodes.
okay, so yeah, this is like the first episode of the second arc. So pretty much finishes up the last core's arc, basically.
Yep.
So 10 episodes, new arcs, or from what Miguel said, 4 more arcs?
No, 2 more. 2 more. They're gonna do Stone Wars and maybe do 1 more, or maybe Stone Wars will be covering the whole 10. So that's just possible.
Okay, cool. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So guys, let's do a quick recap of what else have you been watching or reading throughout the week.
I want to say definitely shame on Sam a couple episodes ago on the podcast that he did a bad explanation of trying to give us Welcome to Demon School to me, Ray, and James, where he kind of threw us off. So me and
it wasn't as bad as your explanation to other stuff, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
This is true. He's got you beat there. You have the worst explanation so far, so it's fine.
I do it for the entertainment for the audience. I do that for the most.
No,
I do that for the most.
Sure,
It's really for the audience to
sure.
laugh and enjoy.
Bruh.
Yes.
Alright.
So me and I know Kid could also say to this that we all watch Welcome to Demon School Iruma Kuma, and goddamn, this anime threw me off and actually was entertaining. But the best part out of this anime is the kid himself, because he's just a kid that just kept saying yes, and the kid that feel bad because he just threw his whole life upside down. And also the freaking opening. The freaking opening is to die for, and so far it's freaking entertaining as hell.
Bobby Lou.
Fine, I'll watch it. Okay.
No,
Well,
Ray,
Ray,
you will love it. Ray, you will love the opening
Alright,
song.
what's the official name again?
Give me-
Welcome to Demon School, Irumaku.
Yep, what Sam just said.
I will put it on the list.
Well, the main character looks like a blue-haired Deku, so that might get you interested even more.
Sam and Kid could agree to that. I did not see that.
And he's actually a little bit the personality too, like in the beginning of Deku. So
Yeah, that's one of the things I pointed out, like when I did my first impressions, and I had a couple of my subscribers like comment out there, and it's like, you know what, he reminds me of Deku in a way, like his personality and like his design itself as well, because he has like his own little quirky way of like expressing himself, and it reminded me of like early Deku. Like,
yeah, it really is like early Deku. Like before I knew the series was gonna have an anime adaptation, I read the manga for it, and I enjoy it as its comedy, slice of life kind of what it is. It's not a battle manga series. It's not like a whole action thing. It's just good, wholesome comedy fun.
And the best part of this episode is that they put the nail on the wall saying the demons, and the song of the school was hilarious. The whole 666 thing was amazing. It just threw me off guard the way he just kept doing 666.
The demon grandpa thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. Bet.
Now it just clicked to you. And it was amazing. My favorite part was the demon song of the school. Like you, Ray, really listen and pay attention to what they're saying. It just threw me off guard. Each line I read, I was like, wow, they're going straight to the demon side. Wow. So
that's literally their Pledge of Allegiance. So.
there's the
Yeah.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Pretty much, yeah.
We eat humans and kill humans is how one of the lines are. I was like, wow. So that's how they're gonna go.
I mean, you also have a grandpa that here's some perfume on you. Now no one will know that you're human. It's like, okay, it's so simple. But what if he takes a shower or a bath or whatnot to wash it away?
But this was a good introduction to the fall anime, so I was very excited about that.
Add
And
it
so
to the list.
definitely add it. Something that I started reading, and I know that Reiko also talked about this, is Boruto. I just started reading Boruto.
Yes.
And Boruto is actually more entertaining than a trash anime.
I actually
keep recommending
love this.
it.
I actually love the manga. I'm like, oh crap, this is actually good. Like this is
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
This
up
is what I
to
wanted.
chapter 20 now. I'm almost caught up. I'm to like 12 chapters or 14 chapters behind now. And I think it's up to 38. So I'm about less than 20 chapters behind, I say that. And Boruto is so much better in the manga. It's better character than Boruto than the anime, where it actually shows that he's not a whiny little kid. Like, he's still whiny, but it's because they actually fleshed better out in the manga and showing about his mark, and actually about Sasuke much better flesh out. In the anime, it feels like we're watching a kindergarten going into 5th grade. Here we see the 5th grader going into become a tuning, so that is actually more entertaining.
I mean, I don't know. I just felt like Boruto is much more of a character in the manga. Like he's an actual character. He's not just Naruto's son, which is the way it looks in the anime.
Yeah,
he actually has his own motivations and his own struggles, and I don't know. I just like him way more in the manga. I really do.
But what I'm kind of mad is like they're already going into the next arc, and it's not touching any of the manga that from the series it's supposed to be.
That's weird.
Because like with Naruto, like we know that had its lot of fillers and other.
Naruto is the king of filler.
But then eventually it'll go back into its own main story after the arc finished from the manga side.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, Naruto is one of my favorite series, like one of my most favorite series of all time. And but yes, like, they did do filler weird, but so far Boruto, the manga, has been just really direct.
Yeah,
it's really straight to the point.
Because it's monthly. Like this is monthly manga stuff, and those are usually really well invested drawing.
I bet it would have been bi-weekly. Had the anime done better. But
I don't know what is Peria doing with Boruto, because when it comes to filler, Black Clover's doing better filler. They only had like a couple filler episodes so far yet, and they're doing much better filler with Peria. So I don't know what Boruto doing. Like they've done like already 100-something episodes of filler. That's how many.
Are you serious?
They are on, I think, episode 106, 110, and out of the anime that's actually canon to the story, 6 episodes.
That's
sad. Very sad.
This is what happens when something that had max popularity, they're like, "Hey, make more of this," and they ordered a whole bunch and didn't even think about how much is actually there. Ugh. That's unfortunate.
Kid, have you ever touched Boruto manga, or are you ever gonna touch it?
I've read like the first few chapters of it.
Like it gets much better.
It
starts slow, but then there's one chapter that's boom, and then from there it's a running.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's what I hear about it. Like whenever a new chapter gets released, like I see a whole bunch of people on like Twitter getting excited about it, and they talk about it.
Once you get to chapter 10, it kicks off because the first 10 chapters is about the movie.
Yeah,
and then but they do much better condensed, and then after that, once chapter 10 is done, you go into the next arc, and it goes about his mark, about his destiny, that he's not human, about the clan, and all that is so well done. So if you want to read one more series, and it's monthly too, and it's easy to go through, and it's well written, fast paced. I don't feel like it's dragged. Oh, okay, next page.
It doesn't. It does. I was really worried, like because it hits that point where it's like, okay, they just had their big mission. It's about the dragon. It doesn't. I'm like, okay, I enjoy this.
It's well paced. So that's one thing I had to give it straight to Boruto. So that's the 2 things I want to talk. And Spy Family, but I know that kid's gonna bring up, so I will wait for that.
Anybody next? So, kid, you want to go next?
About the series?
What are you reading / watching right now that you haven't already talked about?
Yeah, that's not on the channel that you don't do or don't cover or stuff like that.
Well, I'm watching Dr.Stone, Fire Force, Vinland Saga. I just need to watch like the latest episode of Dr.Stone and catch up on Vinland Saga, which is gonna be an issue. But like other series that I'm watching on the side is like Monogatari series because my friend Zypher recommended it to me. So I was gonna check out the series and see what it's all about.
Nice.
Me and him also started JoJo and Haikyuu not that long ago.
God. I started JoJo too. Was it a mistake for you as well?
I've only finished part 1, and I like it so far. So whenever I get the chance, like I'll go back to it.
It gets wild.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I made the mistake and started it, and I'm just like, oh my God, what is happening?
And then Haikyuu is like a series I've wanted to check out for the longest time because I don't just stick to like battle shonen or anything like that. Like I like checking out like different kinds of series and everything. And I don't mind sports series because I'm willing to give everything a chance. And like I just heard so many good things about Haikyuu, and I was like, all right, I got to check out the series, see what it's all about and everything. And me and Zypher watched it together, and I've actually like really enjoyed it so far. Like it's like mainly the journey that gets me like really hooked on like a lot of the series. So those are like the ones I'm watching currently. I started Gintama like a few months ago. I haven't gotten back to that for a
That
while.
one's on my backlog.
I recently started Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I only watched the first episode.
Ooh,
So,
you're in for a treat with
yeah.
Full Alchemist.
I heard a lot. I heard a
it.
lot of good things about it, so I'm really excited for it.
I binge Brotherhood, so it's definitely entertaining. I just recently watched it at the beginning of this year, so it definitely will be a ride for you because I love it.
It's something else.
I think it's a great 64 episodes. Such a sweet ride. It is enjoyable. The message, the beautiful, and the realism of what it can relate to our society and the world. So it's really well done.
Full Metal Alchemist is what took anime for me from being like just kind of like a thing that was cool to like something that I love, like straight up.
Yeah,
Same.
That's always a great thing. And then the series that I'm reading is Act Age, Hell's Paradise, which is the main reason why I checked out that series is because I believe Murata, if you guys know who Murata is, I believe he does One Punch Man.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
Horikoshi himself recommended Hell's Paradise, so I checked that out. I'm 6 chapters in, and I like that so far. Yona the John, I started that last month. I'm 17 chapters in with that. And then other series that I'm not covering on my channel that I'm reading is Dr.Stone, Fairy Tail Honey Your Quest, Heart Gear, which I'm not sure if you guys heard of Black Torch before.
Heard of Black Torch, actually.
Unfortunately, like Black Torch didn't last that long because sometimes it gets the axed.
Yep.
So this is actually like another series done by the same mangaka, Heart Gear, and it's on Manga Plus as well.
Oh, nice.
So I read it off of there. And then I also have like Promise Neverland, Seven Deadly Sins. I'm rereading One Piece.
Okay.
So it's like
I am also reading One Piece, but for the first time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's been great.
But those are the series like I'm mainly reading. But I have like a whole bunch on like my Annie list because I used to use like my anime list where I used to like have all of the series and I'm like reading and watching on there. But then but I remember like I think it was like last year there was like a problem with my anime list, like something happened to like the website and it was bugged for a little bit. So then people recommended me to use AniList where you could pretty much record like the anime series you're watching and the manga you're reading as well. And then you could also like put like your favorite manga, your favorite characters. It's like you have like your own like page set up where you like, let's say if you want to make a playlist where it's like seasonal anime I'm watching. And then for me, like I did that and I put Dr. Stone, Fire Force, Vinland Saga, Welcome to Demon School. And then I put series I'm watching on the side to separate it from the seasonal. So I put like Monogatari, Fullmetal Alchemist, Gintama. Then I put series that I'm rewatching. And then with manga, I put the series I'm caught up with.
Nice.
Series I'm rereading. Series that I'm currently like reading, like checking out like Act Age and Yona of the Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very useful site.
I do agree. I've tried to tell the other guys to try as well. It's very useful because I'm reading now like almost 25 series at the same time now, so it's very helpful to know of what chapter I'm on right now, Span Family and other series, My Hero, One Piece, because One Piece is 958 chapters, so it's very nice to catch up to know where you are on, because it's very helpful to know what episode you're on as well, because that's almost 900 episodes as well of One Piece, so it's very helpful.
Ray, how about you? What have you been tuning into?
Well, before we go too far, kid, I want to recommend you. You like the progression, you like the journey, you like what gets a character to where they're going to be going, right?
Yeah.
So sports anime, I want you to give one more try. I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's this little manga / anime called Hajime no Ippo that I need you to give a shot at some point.
I've heard of it before. I've been wanting to check it out. I'm not sure if I should read manga, watch anime.
The anime is incredible. I will say that I watched it, back in the day when it was, on them illegal sites, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
I don't know who has illegal right now, but probably if people ask me all the time, like, what's my favorite? I think more often than not, that's my number one anime is Hajime no Ippo. It's a sports anime. The journey for Ippo to become what he becomes is phenomenal, and the animation is incredible, and God, it's so good. Like it's just all the fights mean something. Like you talked about earlier, they all mean
Yeah.
something. There's always something at stake.
Yeah,
it's
'cause-
building for the characters. It's so good.
Yeah, that's what I love. I love the drive. Like that's what really gets me addicted to like all these series I check out.
So Ippo would be, I think, a great one. I think you would enjoy it. I love Ippo. I love it.
Yeah, I'll definitely put that on my list.
But what I've been reading, I've actually read a lot more than I've been watching. I've been hooked on reading Boruto. So
Mhm.
I've just been reading Boruto. Still also trying to get on that One Piece grind. But Boruto's been like literally consuming all of my time when it comes to reading something on my iPad. And then I started reading what is it, Astra Lost in Space.
Ooh.
I'm
Nice.
still reading that, which I'm like, no, I think I'm just gonna read that one. Since I've already started, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna keep reading it.
Yeah.
And I'll watch it at some point because that's the one that's on Funimation, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
believe
I'm
so.
probably just gonna read it.
I think they
That's-
came out like
you-
summer, right?
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah.
Kind of this past summer,
You
dub and
can
sub.
also catch it on Hulu, right?
Oh, that's true, but there's too much stuff to watch. Okay, there's too much stuff to
true.
watch.
I mean, I'm not gonna blame you. I tend to read a lot more manga than anime.
I can
Yeah.
condense that time so much so much more time into a whole much more. Let's see. My Hero Academia Vigilantes still. I jump back into that and I enjoy that. It's a fun side story in that universe. I don't know where it's gonna go because right now I have no idea where that's going, and I'm like, I really still don't understand the purpose of it, but I get it. I like it. It's more My Hero Academia, except not. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun. And then I've been trying to catch up in Samurai 8,
Oh.
and I'm still. It hasn't clicked yet. It still has not clicked.
See, that's how it is with me too, because it was currently on my list of like the series that I'm currently reading,
Mhm.
but I can't say I dropped it, but I ended up pausing it for a little bit because I was gonna let it build up for a while and see where it goes, because I just wasn't really that invested in it. Like
Yeah,
it
and
just,
I'm what 10, 11 chapters in, and I'm still kind of like,
It builds up after chapter 15, 16, where it gets better. Where right now in the chapter 21, we're actually getting more development of his powers, and where my man Daruma said, Hachimaru, you used your white soul. I'm like, okay, nice, more information. So we're getting more since chapter
Okay.
15. I'm liking it. It's not like a great peak of a new shonen to me. Like Spy Family is better, and Jujutsu Kaisen is better. But Samurai is an interesting take, more sci-fi, like very Eden Zero. So, but it did peak better. It went more up, it went a couple of staircase in chapter 15 to 16. So I will
all
say
right, well, I trust you, and you know if it's garbage when I get there, I'm gonna get you.
how about this? We'll tell you when it finally picked up, and whatever chapter it lands on, you decide if you want to keep reading.
Fair enough.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Because one of the things like I also do is like I try not to force myself to read it.
Mhm.
So if it comes to a certain point where I'm not really that invested in it anymore, I just stop. I think I did that with what was that one series? It was the one that the Magi creator did, Orient. I tried that series out. I think it was like a good 17, 18 chapters. I wasn't feeling it, so I just
That was actually me with One Punch Man. I don't know, man. Just couldn't go back into it. So I'm like, I'll read it again one day, maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know.
All right. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, Sam, it's your turn.
All right. Been something I've watched that I haven't mentioned on video or anything. Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious. I thought it's a very funny isekai anime. Usually you have these isekai that comes in, they're all super OP, and but their mission is pretty much kill the demon lord, rule the world, save it, and everything like that. But you have the main character. He is overly cautious. This man will literally go into stay in heaven, which is like his hyperbolic time chamber. And you'll be seeing him doing push-ups and sit-ups straight for weeks, just because he feel like he's not fully trained and leveled enough to fight Demon King yet, or the Demon Lord and whatnot. And he's in the worst world situation ever. There's many different gods, and each of them have to control and help save the world, many worlds. and each of these worlds are ranked of difficulty of how dangerous this planet is. And unfortunately, this hero has the worst, highest difficulty ever. But technically, it's the goddess's job is to be the one to nourish the hero, to help him train, give him whatever he wants in order to save the world. But he's just so overly cautious that he would fight like a level 1 slime. Cutting it would not be like just slashing him with a sword is not enough. This guy will use like the ultimate magic as in his vessel, destroy him with it, and then use the second strongest magic onto it, and then it goes back to the first one. He literally would incinerate a level 1 slime that can destroy the entire village.
And this is a full anime?
This is a fall anime.
Interesting.
It's hilarious. And right now, I only watched the first episode, but you already have one of like the 4, like they always have like 4 demon lord generals who's like so OP. Apparently, the demon lord tells one of his generals, "Hey, go to this village. I know there's always level 1 monsters around here. The whole point is never let the hero level up. Do not make him like stronger to let one day he kill me." Next thing you know, you have like a level 70 something demon lord general coming after the hero, and he just dip. He just run. He's like, "Nope, not strong enough yet. I gotta be cautious. Gotta be careful and everything. Because nope." And I just used up all my magic points killing this level 1 slime. So nope. I'm running.
Oh, pretty cool though.
It's funny. It's definitely great. Recommended to watch for fall. What I did with Miguel. Welcome to Demon School, Aruma-kun. I've also been watching Seis Manos from Viz. It's actually really cool. Really interesting.
Is that the one on Netflix?
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I've been meaning to watch that because it's been being advertised to be in the Shonen Jump app.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of it.
It's been advertised on New York Comic Con as well. Way too much.
Yeah.
It was a panel and a screening on the same day it was released. I'm like, why would you have a panel and screening even though it was released today? But sure. So it was definitely advertised.
People didn't know that it was out there, but now they do, I hope. So.
Kind of reminds me of what Crunchyroll did during Anime Expo with Dr.Stone. Dr.Stone was like everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So they tend to like put that advertisement to the next level of a lot of stuff.
Overly advertise and promote. I'm like, we know Seis Manos just came out today. You don't need free posters everywhere as well. They give like 3 different type of free posters. So like they were really trying to advertise it. But I heard Seis Manos from Sam is very dark, right?
Yeah, it's very dark. Like think Castlevania Netflix style, but in a more darker genre.
Okay.
They really
it does look like that.
It does.
They go into the folklores of Mexico, like the whole chupacabra, the whole religion way where like this is something from the devil. You have some magic voodoo weird powder shit where you eat this, you become a crazy Hulk monster of a chupacabra. Yeah, it gets very dark, very bloody and gruesome. And it's like a mixture of Asian in there and culture because these guys knows kung fu.
Nice. All right, that sounds pretty interesting. Definitely will put Seis Manos on this week watch for next week episode to talk about that.
It's definitely good. That's what I've been watching. Reading wise, yeah, it's a lot. Instead of naming them all, I'll just name the key big ones that I thought was really good. Attack on Titan. That last chapter was really good.
Dude,
it was dark. Very dark.
I definitely know where you're coming from on that. And the thing about it is like it was like I had a different feel to it. Like when I was like reviewing it, like it just like there was just so much to break down.
Yeah, it really was.
That's how it's been with like AOT for like the past. I feel like ever since this arc started, there's just like so many messages being thrown at us, and we gotta like sit down and think about, okay, what is Isayama telling us this time?
There's so many twists in every chapter, and it makes me wonder how is season 4 gonna try to capture all these. I know, and they try to cut out some of these stuff, but some of these twists are pretty important. You can't.
Definitely.
These are big information you can't cut out. It's very good. It's just
especially people want to know like the origin behind like all these mysteries. Like they need to make sure that they put everything in there so the people don't get confused because I feel so bad for her.
Yeah, like it's bad. Like it's really dark. Ray, I'm not gonna spoil anything from the manga. I'm
Please,
not gonna
thank
spoil
you.
it.
Because
But
guys, by the way, me and Ray, we don't read the manga right now. We're a bit behind. I'm behind like a good 25 chapters. Last chapter I read was chapter 100.
just when you think Attack on Titan is dark, they always go up to a new level of the most darkest shit you ever seen.
I told you, I've been so many times I've been like, I'm just gonna read it. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna save you this anime experience. It's gonna be great.
It will definitely. Like I feel like out of all the AOT seasons we have so far, like the last season's gonna
Last season was wild.
Season 4 is gonna take the cake.
Season 4 is there a higher rating than rated R? This is beyond rated R.
Especially like once you guys witness Aaron's character progression, it's just out of the roof.
The only thing I know from what I saw on Twitter is that Aaron did some type of earthquake. I'm like, what the hell? So that's all I know. That Aaron did an earthquake.
Well, I mean, he is a Titan.
But like from what I saw from the panel, like I'm too behind.
Well, you get more of an explanation like behind Aaron's ideology as you continue reading. You understand his different mindset and what drove him to be that way. I mean, you sort of get a hint at it towards the end of season 3, part 2, where after he finds out the truth, and then you see, because ever since him and Armin were kids, they always wanted to see the sea. So you would expect them to be like happy, which Armin was, Mikasa was. Well, she tried to smile. She had like a little smile there. But when Aaron finally saw the sea for the first time, he didn't really get that reaction that you expected because he knew that there were still people out there that he had to deal with. Because Aaron's whole goal since the beginning is that he wants freedom. And you see that message being spread a lot through Attack on Titan. And as you dive deeper into the story where me and Sam are, you'll get a better explanation of like Aaron's mindset and everything and why he decided to make all these different kinds of choices, because he's doing it for the greater good.
Well, his own personal greater good.
His own personal greater good.
Yeah, because every character always believe they're the good guy and like believe what's right and stuff like that. But at this point, you don't know who is the good guy.
And at this point, I'm 25 chapters behind. I'm not even going to try to read 40 pages and
I like
chapter. That's way too much.
Yeah. And like I'll be honest with you though, it's like I can't really blame him for doing what he's doing, especially after finding out how the world operates.
I was about to say that world is effed. So I mean,
yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on to our news. Funimation is releasing the new Yu Yu Hakusho OVA with subtitles and English dubs. Honestly, Yu Yu Hakusho was one of the animes I've never got into. Like I never jumped into start.
I didn't know that about the two of you.
We never seen Yu Yu Hakusho, and that's one of the things we're thinking. Like maybe we should react to this since me and Sam never have seen it.
What's crazy is like I have those Shonen Jump books, and they do Yu Yu Hakusho, but the only thing I've only read from it I slowly build was One Piece, and then slowly build to Bleach, and then slowly build to
like I don't
Naruto. Yeah, and
what is happening? Watch Yu Yu Hakusho. Watch it. It has one of the best tournament arcs ever.
Okay, kid, have you seen Yu Yu Hakusho, right? I recall that you spoke about it when we did the interview.
I spoke about it because I was like trying to give examples of like, because it was mainly when me and Ray were talking about like how Dr.Stone is like this new story that's like being shown besides all the battle shonen and stuff. That's I was giving examples like
so you haven't seen
going back to like Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, Yu Yu Hakusho. And all, I haven't seen it yet. I've seen Tagashi's other work, Hunter x Hunter. I haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho.
So
go watch Yu Yu Hakusho. Watch it.
So the best part is to talk about this news. So Ray, talk about the news since 3 people here have not seen.
I mean, the fact that they're doing, like they're giving me anything new in return, like in regards to Yu Yu Hakusho, is fantastic. First of all, because it's just one of those series that, all of us kids who grew up with Toonami in America.
Mhm.
That's how we mostly consumed our anime. Yu Yu
Yeah.
Hakusho was at the forefront of that,
Mhm.
and it was one of the better ones that we got. Just absolutely,
Yeah.
hands down. It's so good and
Tagashi knows how to write a story. I'll give him
absolutely not, and just the characters and
Yeah.
the battles in that. Oh my god, Hiei and Kurama are some of my most favorite characters ever.
that. I heard
Yusuke is also great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also pretty good. But Hiei is the badass. Like, you know, if you look at all of the badass characters we have now, Hiei is up clearly way at the top of that list. He's just, you know, Yu Yu Hakusho's so old that he gets forgotten about.
Yeah, because it's been years since
It's
the
been
anime ended.
years. So
Almost a
like I said,
decade? A decade?
if not more.
No, I think more.
Yeah.
But I'm
So
happy for the fans. They have an OVA and also
Uh-huh.
English dub. So I'm happy that they're bringing the original dub voice actors for it. So I'm happy
Yeah.
for the audience and maybe
That's nice.
Yeah, they're bringing back Justin Cook and Sabat. So
Yeah.
that's going to be great. Like, that's going to be really good. That was one of the first roles I did not know that Sabat was Sabat until afterwards, because he's Kuwabara, which is this, like, basically like punk. He was like a gangbanger, and like his character's hilarious. It's so good.
dope.
So this will be good. This, and like, it can get newer people into the series like you guys. So yeah,
So maybe one day we will react to it on the
I
channel.
think you
We
should.
wanna-
I think
That'd
you
be
should. It'd be
nice.
fun.
All right. Moving on. Viz is releasing a Star Wars The Legend of Luke Skywalker in 2020, Frozen 2 manga, Bleach, Can't Fear Your Own, Naruto Story Family Day, and One Piece novel featured Ace before he died.
Viz really announced a lot of things this weekend with New York Comic Con, and they did a great opportunity to announce this, knowing that Viz was at the booth in a New York Comic Con and announcing other volume colors for Act H and other series. And the one thing that really shocked me the most was Frozen 2 and Star Wars. That just threw me out.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
they're getting mangas, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
like
they're both
actual,
getting mangas. Elsa's getting like an origin story about her powers.
yeah.
Some
Oh, that's
Star
pretty
Wars one I'm not
interesting.
sure about.
Yeah, so that's different because Frozen 2 and Star Wars, I expected them to go to the Marvel side of the comics, not the manga side of the Viz. So that really shocked me. I'm like, okay.
Well,
So
maybe I think Viz and Disney made a partnership.
They have a partnership, and
Oh, yeah.
this is a part of that partnership.
yeah, so there's a
That's
partnership with
actually
them.
pretty cool.
So I'm happy for people. I'm really gonna read this because I'm really curious to see what the legend of Luke Skywalker in 20, like what else can, and is this canon? Because of the deal with Lucasfilm and Disney back then, is that whatever they come out with, games and everything, is part of the canon story. So would this be part of the canon story as well?
I
And
don't.
Frozen, yeah.
Um,
Do you remember this when this partnership started between Disney and them? I don't know if you remember there
I
was an
don't
Iron Man
remember.
anime. There was
Yeah.
a Wolverine anime.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
I don't think there was an Avengers anime, but I remember there was Iron Man and Wolverine, and maybe the X-Men.
yeah. There was an X-Men.
Very short series, but they exist.
Yeah, they were like.
And
My favorite was the Wolverine one. He was hardcore in it.
it was
and
really. The Iron Man one was really cool, but the Wolverine one was great. I don't know. It's just it's now we're starting to see that partnership is very much still alive,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I hope that we get more cool stuff like that.
Like
Yeah,
I
that'd be
know
nice.
there are other Star Wars manga. Like it's just not
Yes.
as popular in manga form than it is.
and
with
those are old
books.
too. But to bring him back, Legend of School of Luke Skywalker, I'm excited to know where it will go and
Yeah.
see what this be about. Would this be about pre-Luke or the actual Luke Skywalker as a Jedi? So I'm really curious to know and how long will be. So I'm really curious about this and this. And Frozen 2, okay, that's pretty different.
I mean, yeah, everybody was kind of like, "Excuse me, what?" So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna read it because. So,
Roger's reaction was the best, but he just put "what" with mad question marks. It's the best reaction of his. I was like, I understand. Me too. What?
I'm actually happy that they came out with a lot of like good stuff for the announcements.
Like
Like
with
it's a lot of interesting stuff, which is that's what I think that's what kind of
Like I
everybody talking
believe
about it.
even Spy X Family had like volumes coming out next year and it just
Yeah.
came out this year. It's crazy.
So I'm like, wow, okay, so they're doing this and they're doing Act H covers to it, and plus Jujutsu Kaisen was announced. I'm not too sure
Mhm.
about that.
Oh, No, Jujutsu Kaisen was announced in January, I believe.
Yeah, in January. So I'm really excited.
I know we get the first volume in December 1st.
Yeah, so I'm excited that they're getting a lot of things. And the One Piece Ace, I'm like, all right, so it seems that Ace is not dying yet. Still more story about him. So that's
The
pretty
one
cool.
thing I'm most excited about, though, or curious about, is what I should say. Not excited. What is this Bleach thing? What is this?
It's a side story.
I just give me any inclination that they're gonna finish it out with an anime and they're gonna like fix the ending with an anime. Please do that.
I think it's a side story sequel. Like
Yeah.
you just learn the epic log of the other characters.
The fact that we're getting anything Bleach related matters to me because there's still a chance. There's still a chance that they will finish this.
This was announced when me and Sam were on the panel saying, "Oh, we have an announcement." Bleach. Everybody got excited because I got excited too. I'm like, "Yo, Sam, Ray's gonna be the most excited about this."
I just anything Bleach I want because Bleach was also that other series that I just absolutely adored. I loved Bleach, even the weird like filler arcs. I enjoyed. I really.
Here's one thing I can tell you, Ray. If you like Bleach, you're gonna really love Jujutsu Kaisen.
Agree.
You'll get a lot of Bleach vibes from that.
You were talking about it, and like I downloaded the first few chapters. I didn't say I was reading them, but it's got a similar look, which
I agree with him.
I'm in.
We are still waiting what Akubo's still doing too. Like we don't know what he's up to. Actually.
That's true. I keep asking. I'm like, what's Kubo doing? What is
nothing?
Didn't he come? He did that one shot not that long ago, right?
Yeah, but it's a one shot. But I think that one shot was a year and a half ago now, or
I think it was like Burn the Witch.
Oh yeah, one shot. I remember that.
I just
yeah,
it
was all right. It wasn't like huge. They didn't give it its own full-on manga series. They usually want some one-shot mangas that gets really popular. Automatically, they want the author to write a whole entire manga series for it. But that was just the one that not a lot of fans wanted. More.
I want to know what he's like. I really do like his style, so I'm like,
I agree.
I want him to have some more stuff. So,
and
maybe he's just chilling. He's like, maybe he retired. I don't know.
And for me, the most disappointment announcement, not disappointment, it's a bad word, is Naruto Story Family Day. It's because as much as I love Naruto, the ending, the series overall, like I forgot who I did speak about this past weekend too about Naruto, is that the story we saw Naruto grow from a kid having no parents, no family, or anything, and now being the Hokage, but a person that we didn't see the actual him entering the Hokage seat. That time skip was cool, but I did not like it. And to see the Family Day as a light novel coming out, I'm happy, but I'm like, are we gonna actually get more detail of how he became the Hokage? Is this what's gonna be about? If that is the case, I will be really excited. But if this is just another side story, then I'll be like, okay.
Is it it's a light novel or?
I think it's a light novel coming out, being translated, or I think it's in some type of volume. Not too sure what the details hasn't fully is out.
Okay.
With Bleach, I think they did announce saying there was going to be 3 volume books regarding to the epic log of the story. The Naruto Story Family Day, don't know anything really about it. I'm just thinking like, so you pretty much got some filler episodes of Naruto and putting it into manga form. I think at that point, is it going to be canon or not? And with One Piece featuring Ace, we don't know too much about Ace himself, just who his father was, how the brother relationship between Luffy and him. Like there was so much you can explore for Ace, and the only thing we got is that we're constantly reminded of how he died, how he made Luffy into a better character now, and give us more info of how much bigger Ace was as a character that hurt Luffy so bad, not just as his brother, but literally the entire world was impacted because of it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
So it's a good thing about Ace then.
Okay, let's move on. One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows video game, reveals its closed beta testing.
This game is
this is the One Punch Man news that I'm interested in. Give me the video game.
I'm honestly surprised. I'm honestly surprised it took this long for it to get one.
And I'm really interested in their mechanism too, where like you have Saitama just like, okay, I'm coming. Then you pretty much fight for 30 seconds.
And I think that's why it took so long. They were like, how do you take a character that literally could beat everybody in one punch and make it fun?
Yeah, and I'm curious to know. This is like a side topic, but I'm shocked One Punch Man hasn't had a movie yet.
He doesn't really
I'm
need
not-
a movie.
Like what could you do with a movie that it would have to focus on like more his side characters? Like it would have to focus on the cast.
Oh
not
yeah,
him.
Yeah, that's true.
but the
And
game
so-
overall is pretty cool though. So this beta looks cool. Looks pretty nice and promising. And the game, like overall, the Ray said that they found a way to do it with him coming in last minute and then to take out the character. So I'm very excited for that. And the game actually looks much better than I saw in the first trailer. So they actually
Did you guys see it at New York Comic Con, by the way?
No, we didn't.
no, that was the only game that was actually there. We saw My Hero One Justice 2. That game actually looks better. Quick
It
thoughts
had
on
to.
the My Hero One Justice. That very colorful.
Yeah.
Good.
Never played the first one. All Might is broken as hell.
As he should be.
Shiraki is broken too because I felt like I was kicking
You want
ass.
you want to know you want to know something funny about Shigaraki in that game? If you noticed, you know how there's two versions of Shigaraki.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we know
yeah.
already, but we can't say it. That's why I was.
Oh, I
trying to
know.
say it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Never
we
mind.
know.
Never mind.
I mean, I have an idea, but yeah, don't confirm my ideas because I
It's-
think too much.
I'll just do this.
Let's say the post.
If you
the game-
recognize this pose, you know where that's from.
the game is post time skip of the villain arc. Let's say that.
Which
That's.
I'm really surprised. Like,
I
how
was
much
shocked. I'm
more
like-
story
I'm like-
are you gonna go into for
I was
one
so
justice?
shocked. Like, wait. I'm like, Sam, that character has no hands on his face. That
Yeah,
means
we
they're
know.
like,
Yeah.
So that's amazing. How is villain arc?
We do
Shigaraki.
see. I think we in the upcoming season. I think we see him without his hand on his
hands.
face for the first time.
Yeah,
That's
but this
pretty
is-
much.
But that character has no hands on his whole body, so that means that's villain arc Shiraki. And I was
Yeah.
shocked that they did this in the character in the game, and how
because popularity, I would assume.
I was about to say,
it's probably
because
that.
that's how people.
Because
recognize
I
it
even
now.
noticed with like the Funko Pop releases that they had, like when they had the Pro Hero arc,
Mhm.
they you can see where my finger is right now.
Mhm.
They had one of him Endeavor.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
And since like
of his new
villains
suit.
and since like we have all these different kinds of villain pops coming out right now, I wouldn't be surprised if it's because of the most recent manga arc as well.
I would say that they're appealing like they're smart when it comes to these things, and it's only these certain Japanese companies that are smart about this because they're
Yeah.
appealing to the Western audience and the Japanese audience at the exact same time, but in
Yeah.
different ways. If that makes
Mhm.
sense, with one product, and it's so smart. It's
Yeah.
so smart.
Because
Yeah,
I just find it
billions.
strange. It's like the way that they like make figures or whatever it is like it's like either hinting at something from like the anime or the manga.
And it's
And I
well,
saw a lot of people pick up on that.
and it's
thing
well
you
done
mentioned.
because the game is really nice. I will definitely get My Hero One Justice 2. One, we never got it or never played it, but My
And
Hero
I told you that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And My Hero One Justice
Yeah.
2 looks fun. I played it. I didn't get bored. I played it 3 times or twice with Sam, and it's really enjoyable. And it's something that I definitely will probably pick up. And the characters are cool, but I would say that it felt very colorful and all over the place.
Mhm.
I felt like the characters were way too OP. They should definitely put some characters down. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I felt
So
like
the way it looks, I don't know if you guys remember the early Ninja Storm games, the early Ninja Storm like arena
Yeah.
battlers.
Yeah.
That's what this one looks like.
I would agree to that. It feels like Ninja Storm 2 when it was Naruto versus Sasuke. So I would say and agree to that.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt like when I was fighting with it. But the graphics is great. Dabi's fire looks really nice because Sam was playing as Dabi, and that fight between me and Sam was really good, well done, and it was pretty cool. And the scene where you can move all around, it felt like a lot of Ninja Storm where you can actually move around the area and not just one. It's kind of one dynamic, so it actually felt very nice and very coherent.
Were you able to play as any of the new characters
A few were locked, but I just
if they were available? I know Mineta is like playable. I know Mirio is.
Momo is.
Well, we
Was
did the
Overhaul
first-
available or no?
He
Yes,
is
he was,
available.
but we didn't choose him.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we only got to play it twice, so it was pretty cool. Sam, any thoughts about the game real quick?
I thought it was cool. It's fun. The only thing I had a problem was when it comes to the close combat and action. Like it's like a really colorful light show, but you don't really see like how like what's going on. Of like, did I punch him or did I kick him? But I don't know. For some reason, his health bar went down low. But yeah, so
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
it
you
was
know
like
what?
that. I'm like, okay.
Just keep doing that. I guess. Like
So I mean, it sounds like it's I define like true fighters then party fighters. This sounds like it's definitely still in the party fighter vein, which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
We also play, I think, Kakarot and the Power Wars
Yeah.
4, but I did speak about that. But Power Wars 4 was really well done, so that was really nice. Power Wars 4 was really good, entertaining about the game. I'm really excited to play that, so this was really fun.
I did Dragon Ball Kakarot. It was actually pretty cool, very interesting. You get actually have a first person view of flying with Goku, or like literally, or going travel wherever you need, where you want to. It really is like playing the Dragon Ball Budokai
Hmm.
version of the game, but it's a lot more challenging. It's definitely
That's good to know.
it's very challenging. Fighting against Raditz, like it's really hard to fight a guy when you have like a 13 bars of health life and you only have like about 5 bars. Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets really challenging in Dragon Ball Kakarot, but definitely wouldn't mind still playing on Twitch or like get some practice into play.
Yeah, I'm still not sure if like I'm gonna get the game for PS4 or my PC. Really, I
That's
might
my
get it.
struggle as well.
Yeah, it's like I want to get it for PS4 mainly because I have the first one,
Mhm.
and I like collecting a lot of My Hero stuff. So I kind of want to have like the I kind of want to have like a copy of it so I can hold in my hand.
Mhm.
But
Fair enough.
I feel like on the PC, I feel like sometimes the graphics are a lot cleaner as well, and I'll
Mhm.
probably run a lot smoother. But
True.
I'm not entirely sure yet.
Yeah.
Also, like, I might just get it because I know there's going to be some sort of pre-order bonus if like
This was a
you-
nice poster that we got for free, too.
Yeah.
okay, I am hoping that
Oh.
I'm hoping that that's a pre-order bonus because I don't know why I'm talking about posters because I barely have any room.
Oh my goodness.
So it's like that's my other like My Hero poster from One's Justice right there.
You make my wall seem absolutely bare. Oh my god.
This was a nice poster they gave us for free, so
So
this is pretty cool. So
and I'd
that's
love
why
to
I-
have that. Like I like the thing where it's like Deku and Shigaraki, and not Deku and Shigaraki, Deku and Overhaul clashing, and then Shigaraki's looking smug at the bottom.
Yeah, it's really
Mhm.
nice.
And we still have the All Might in the background. That's
Mhm.
just still there. And I think on the side you see All for One like,
Mhm.
in the shadows and stuff too. But yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll get even more characters. If it really does touch the villain arc, that's which I don't know if they will, mainly because
Yeah.
most video games they cannot go past what the anime has.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I feel
They
like that
just-
could have just been there for like
Just to include the characters, and most people won't really ask questions. If they do, they're like, okay, how about
it
you
could
just
just
read
be
the
there
manga?
for fan service personally.
basically, and they could just do the same thing what they did with Ninja Storm 4 and just give this weird ending, and then once the anime shows up, here's the patch, here's the real ending, and now you
Sure.
can finish the game now with this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
One of the things that like I'm hoping for like the My Hero games that I liked about Storm is like the cinematic fight scenes where you gotta like mash all the buttons and stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's something I really hope that they like do in the future. Like I'm not sure if they're gonna do it with this game or the game after that, but that's definitely a concept I'd love to see.
Definitely. All right, one last news to just cover real quickly. Arifureta, from Commonplace to World's Strongest Anime, gets second season, and after 5 years, the Irregular at Magic High School, Mahouka, gets a second season.
I'm happy about Arifureta. I think I'm the only one that has watched it on
Yeah, I haven't seen
the whole season. And like speaking about it, I know that it's not great adaptation. I'm gonna start reading the manga sometime next week or in 2 weeks from now. But I'm very happy for it. I enjoyed the anime for what it was. It was one of my favorites. Isike of the season. Definitely shout out to James for Isike Cheat Magician. I gotta give that quick plug for James right there. He loves that, his favorite passion, his bread and butter. But Arifureta from the Commonplace is an enjoyable anime to what it is. The CG is trash though, definitely horrible. But overall, I enjoy it. I cannot say anything to Irregular at Magic High School because never seen it. So can I give it thumbs up? But Arifureta, I'm happy for the second season because people have to remember it's not about the Western audience. It's about the Japan audience, and that is one of the highest rated by the Japanese audience that they love Arifureta. So if they love it, that means it will get a second season. That's why it got it. So people,
Well, it has a really good light novel. That's
that too.
why.
And people were complaining about Alfred. Like, why did that trash anime get a second season? Like, but it's not about you guys. It's about the Japan audience first. Then we come second. And if they love it, that means we're getting a second season. That's what happened. And I am one of the few that love it, so I'm happy.
I mean, the isekai genre, some of them can make it. They have their second season, and because they're good on their own. And however the anime adapts from the manga series, it's what makes it breaks its second season. Like with Shield Hero, like it made its own.
Just give me more
genre.
Shield Hero. I don't care about nothing else in that genre except for Shield Hero.
And yeah, it earned its second season. In fact, it earned its third season. The last isekai that did that was Overlord. Like, yeah, the last isekai anime that ever did that was Overlord. And yeah, it did a decent job in its own. But when it came to Arifureta, the manga series actually really is good. I know the light novel ended a long time ago as well, and the manga hasn't caught up to it yet. But the anime, it's really frustrating because they cut out so much stuff that's kind of important that makes you fall in love with more with the main character. And it's just that it's what drew people off of this anime series, and it became way too much more fan service than it should be. And there's barely any fan service in the manga itself. So I guess I say congrats. It gets a second season. Hopefully you give the manga at least a chance to at least catch up to it and give a good amount of episodes far ahead so that the anime can adapt to it. For Irregular Magic High School, I haven't watched it, but I know it's really popular. And so many people really like this anime. And they've waited 5 years for this second season, and they finally got what they wanted. The second season. And most anime doesn't get their second season. So far, Isekai Cheat Magician, shout out to James, didn't get one yet. So who knows? Who knows?
Hopefully it's better than Danmachi 2. So
damn.
Oh, at least Danmachi gets a third season and an OVA.
It has to redeem itself. But yeah, sure. I've Regular Magic High School has been on my list for probably a few years now. Like it's just been on my list and I haven't watched it yet. So maybe now I'll pull the trigger because it seems like something I would actually really like. So we'll get there. I probably have actually started it. I just haven't watched past the first 5 episodes.
Okay. So. Yeah. Kids, any last thoughts?
I haven't seen either, but I'm interested to check them out to see what it's about because I'm always interested to check out new things, see what's going on with them, and I might end up, really liking it.
Cool.
So that's nice.
I do suggest to watch sub or dub for the show Arifureta. Sub or dub is good. The dub is very nice, very hardcore. So I like the dub. So I prefer if you do like dub anime, I prefer the dub.
All right, guys, we've reached our end of the podcast. Kid, let's head out to our plugs. Kid, Ray, please give us your plugs.
Kid, I want you to go first as our distinguished guest. Please.
Okay, so the best way that you could reach me, because I have multiple social media accounts, but I mainly want to bring up the ones that you could interact with me the most. It would probably be my Twitter account, which is @TheRealKidOtaku. So you could always find me on there if you ever want to see me tweet and talk about something. I think that's the one I use the most out of all of them, if you want to be honest, because that's how I can interact with my audience. That's how I could post news about, okay, this is when so-and-so, this is when the whatever video is coming out, or if I'm giving my thoughts on a chapter I read or whatever it is. That's Twitter is always the best way. Instagram definitely as well. If you guys want to see what's going on in my real life, or let's say I have manga volumes come in the mail, I post pictures of okay, I got the latest Dr.Stone volume, Yaiba volume, My Hero volume, whatever. Instagram is always the best way as well. And then, of course, YouTube, obviously. Kid Otaku, always the best way to reach me if you want to get content on like My Hero, which is what I love the most. You can always come on my channel and stop by and see my thoughts on the latest episodes, chapters, or my thoughts on certain things happening in the story or characters and everything like that. That's definitely the best way to contact me. And also, if you want to see like what series I'm reading or watching, my Annie list, which is Kid Otaku, you can always find me on there as well.
Cool. Ray?
Awesome. You can also find me in multiple different places on the internet, but I told you there's 3 places I want you to look for me. The first place being Twitter. And you can find me everywhere as Rayapollo, Rayapollo. So Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch.
And
Twitch being the main one. Don't worry, don't be scared. It's fine. You could also check out my Instagram, but it's just pictures of my dog, so it's fine. But no, on Twitch, let's see. We just started playing BioShock for the first time. Very
awesome.
creepy game, but yeah, it's happening. And then I finally jumped back into my sweet baby, Dragon Quest XI-S on Friday.
I still need to pick up that game.
Yes, you do. I love this series. We talk about anime and manga all the time. Oh boy, Akira Toriyama, Dragon Ball, also did all the art for this series as well. So check it out. You'll love it. I do. So no, you know where to find me, and I appreciate it if you would check us out.
Definitely check Ray out on his Twitch stream because it's definitely entertaining time and gets you distracted from editing like I have today. Thank you for distracting me and saying from us doing work and
You're welcome.
Scared and scream. It was very entertaining
I
aspect.
stream every single day except
Such
for
a
the
good
weekend.
male professional entertainer. Very
That's
nice
right.
But other than that, guys, follow me at Legendary Dash everywhere on Twitter, IG, and thank you for listening to us on the podcast and YouTube side of Anime Lady. And thank you for our special guest, Kid Otaku, for being here. And Sam, take it away.
Guys, Anime Geeks, we want to know what your thoughts about this podcast. If you're doing a fantastic job, let us know by giving us 5-star reviews on iTunes. And maybe one day we'll have ads and sponsors to help keep this podcast going. If you write a review with us, we'll give you a shout out on this podcast and we'll answer any questions that you ever have for us and we'll answer it live. Also, make sure to also follow and support us on Facebook, Twitch, and Patreon at Anime Lately, and follow our other social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram at AnimeLately_. Anime Lately also has a YouTube channel where we do reviews, live reaction of any manga and anime related videos. Check them out if you like what you do. If you like what we do, like the video, subscribe, and comment down. Let us know your thoughts and join the Discord server as well. And also press that bell notification so you know new videos up on our new channel. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in, for watching and listening. See you next time. Peace.